Hey there! Let me tell you a bit about George Washington, one of the most important figures in American history. George Washington was a founding father of the United States who served as the first president from 1789 to 1797. He was an exceptional military officer, politician, and leader who significantly shaped the nation's history. Washington led the Patriot forces to victory in the American Revolutionary War. It served as the president of the Constitutional Convention in 1787, where the Constitution of the United States was drafted and ratified. Due to his immense contributions, he is often called the father of his country. Washington's service to his country began as a surveyor of Culpeper County in the colony of Virginia from 1749 to 1750. Later, he received military training and was assigned command of the Virginia Regiment during the French and Indian War. He was also elected to the Virginia House of Burgesses and named a delegate to the Continental Congress in Philadelphia, which appointed him the Continental Army's commander-in-chief. Washington's leadership led to a decisive victory over the British in the Revolutionary War, which led to the signing of the Treaty of Paris, acknowledging the sovereignty and independence of the United States. He resigned his commission in 1783, after the conclusion of the Revolutionary War. Washington's contribution to the adoption and ratification of the Constitution was crucial, and he was twice elected president unanimously by the Electoral College. As the first U.S. president, he implemented a strong, well-financed national government while remaining impartial in a fierce rivalry that emerged between cabinet members, Thomas Jefferson and Alexander Hamilton. Washington's legacy includes setting enduring precedents for the president's office, including republicanism, a peaceful transfer of power. Using the title Mr. President, the two-term tradition. He also wrote an influential farewell address in which he spoke about the importance of national unity and the dangers that regionalism, partisanship, and foreign influence pose to it. Washington's image is an icon of American culture. He has been memorialized by monuments, a federal holiday, various media depictions, geographical locations including the national capital, the state of Washington, stamps, and currency. In 1976, Washington was posthumously promoted to General of the Armies, the highest rank in the U.S. Army. He consistently ranks in both popular and scholarly polls as one of the greatest presidents in American history. George Washington was the first president of the United States. The first presidential election took place in 1788-1789, and the delegates at the convention expected Washington to become the first president. They left it up to him to define the office once elected, and he did a great job of it. Washington was inaugurated on April 30, 1789, with a big ceremony. He delivered a speech in the Senate chamber, asking for the happiness of the people of the United States. Although he preferred not to accept a salary, Congress insisted he take it. He also preferred to be called Mr. President over other titles proposed by the Senate. His executive precedents included the inaugural address, messages to Congress, and the cabinet form of the executive branch. Washington was an able administrator who regularly talked with department heads for advice. Despite fears that a democratic system would lead to political violence, he tolerated opposing views. He conducted a smooth transition of power to his successor. He was nonpartisan throughout his presidency, but favored a strong central government and was sympathetic to a federalist form of government. Washington had to deal with some major problems during his presidency. The old Confederation needed more powers to handle its workload and had weak leadership, no executive, a small bureaucracy of clerks, large debt, worthless paper money, and no power to establish taxes. He had the task of assembling an executive department and relied on Tobias Lear for advice in selecting its officers. Britain refused to relinquish its forts in the American West, and Barbary pirates preyed on American merchant ships in the Mediterranean before the United States even had a navy.